lot of people say that they believe, but they don't. I can't be one of those. Can't be one of those. Lord, you so merciful, can I get surgical? Cause I get better with every year. Your word is purposeful, I was a hurting soul, but I got better with every tear. Got in your word and I studied in verses, so I learned to let go of every fear. I don't do sage, baby, I pray and watch the Lord purge out whatever in here. That's favor, that's covering, that's Abra, him covenant. All nation will be safe on through the sun, the one who will cover him. Place on their shoulders, the government, wonderful counselor, that's where I come to vent, And I consider it pure joy when I face trials, I keep running in. Till I'm blue in the face, I'm screaming, deliver. I serve God like he a big tipple, Thailand, big flow switcher. Let the Lord use me while I paint pictures.
Everything husky.
Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream next thing tomorrow's here.
It's a brand new day, never hold on to hate. Cause you was placed here to be great. Please take your place. All queens got a seat at my table. Cause without y'all, then the man ain't able. Melanated queen, connected to the universe. And so I gotta thank my mom for my birth. If hate is the curse, then love is the remedy. So I send you love no matter creed or identity. Until infinity, look at you like you kin to me. Even when we disagree, yo, you still kin to me. In other words, I can't bring you no trouble, can't bring you no beef, don't wanna see you deceased. Now if I'm coming at you, I'm coming with a business plan. Cause every day I'm on some, yo, let's get this money, man. Yeah, and that's my real plans. I rest my head at night, I wake up, I got another plan.
Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream next thing tomorrow's here.
It's a lot of high rappers tell me why we don't get money together, but we'll kill each other over whatever. Running down the freeway, we gonna own down. If Black Lives Matter, why we gonna own down? That's why they laugh and they think that we clowns. They hear what we say, but see how we get down. We gotta change that now, right now to be exact. Cause hurting that man's moms is not where it's at now. Old school, new school need to learn, yo. They put us in groups so they can make more dough. The young versus the old versus the young. Black versus white, you see the pattern, right? No unity, keep them all on some gutter-ish. This way they don't prosper and get rich. Yo, can't you see it's a trick? Just open your third eye and you'll see the full view of it. Now yo, what if the powers that be know that the real power lies within the people? That's us. And what if they using things like crayon colors, black and white, to separate the people? Hey, yo, you gotta wake up. Don't let them fool y'all. Spread love.
Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream next thing tomorrow. Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream next thing tomorrow's here again. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
All right, good morning, everybody. You know what time it is. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. We're going to go ahead and get into it. We are back in the building. Wow, I cannot believe it. Another day, another dollar. We are back in here. Thank you to everybody who's in the building. Let me go ahead and make sure y'all can see me. Oh my gosh, I'm struggling over here. Here we go. Now we're back in here.
Another one.
Looking all crispy and clean on the screen. Stay out to Scott Free in the building, by the way. Yeah, I know. And I'm off center too. Oh, Lord have mercy. We gonna get this right, y'all. We're gonna fix it. Welcome back to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the Music Morning Show. I am your host of the Music Morning Show, ClassE Beats of ClassEbeats.com. Today, we've got a lot of things we're going to go over. We might talk about a little bit of politics. Of course, we're going to cover all things YSL, give a couple of updates, some things that went down, and we got some drama going on too, y'all. Some big drama going on with the DA and Kayla Bumpus. It's wild out here, man. This prosecution and the state office just continues, or I should say the DA's office just continues to show that they are not about moving the right way. So we're going to get into it here in a second. But before I do, if y'all could make sure you like the video on your way in. Let me say what's up to the family, man. Let me see who all is up in here. And y'all let me know how you're doing on this Thursday as well. Here we go. We've got El Papacito is in the building. You know what he said. Don't forget to hit that like. We got the new timer in here. 333W HF says Miss Kayla got that. I gotta read these before I put them up on the screen. Shout out to Kayla. Mars says gang in this bitch. What's up, ClassE in chat? We've got Mixed Chick Samantha is in here. Kristen Vasquez is in the building. 331 is giving a shout out to the lead attorney. Shout out to the lead attorney. Roro is in the building. Good to see you as always. Who else we got? We got Hollywood Co up in here. Speak Now is in the building as well. Salute and good morning to Speak Now. Tracy is back in the building. Good to see you, Tracy. We've got the amazing Amy is up in here. Good morning to Amy. R. Smith is in the building as well. Who else we got? Damn, we got a bunch of new timers in the building. Shout out to R. Smith, giving y'all the #1 way you can support the show is by liking the video. Mr. Tesla is up in here too. Good to see all of y'all. Hopefully y'all are doing well. Everybody's enjoying this Thursday. We're going to have a lot of topics we're going to cover during today's show. So if you have a topic that you're interested in, or you have some thoughts on, even if you have some smoke for me, or you have something that you disagree with on the show, feel free to call in at any point. And usually I'll bring the calls up at the end of each topic. So if you want to call in, the link to call in is in the description, as well as in the pinned comment in the chat. And we're going to go ahead and get into it here in a second, because we got a lot going on. El Papacito says Bump is pissed off at ADA Love. That's a cat fight. And we talked about it yesterday. I told y'all, I said, man, when Kayla sees this, she is not going to be happy. I tried to call her. She said she was over there sleeping in. I said, dang, Kayla, you're sleeping in on a court day, but she's over there sleeping in. So shout out to her. She definitely had a lot to say on this, and we're going to cover it up here first. R. Smith says Harvard Law alumni quiet as kept. Shout out to Harvard Law. Oh man, what a mess, what a mess. Okay, I think I got everybody in here. We're gonna go ahead and get right into it if y'all are ready to go. Also, for the artists in the building, if y'all want to get your music heard, we are doing a live stream later this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, thereabouts. Once we get done with this live stream, we'll hop over there. We're gonna do some live music reviews and some mixing and mastering in BandLab too. So if y'all want another chance to get your music heard, make sure you tune into that live stream. Mixed Chick Samantha said they don't have court today. That is correct. We'll be back tomorrow. And then Kristen Vasquez says, good morning, Amy. Had to come in and support real quick. Oh, appreciate you. On my way to see my new grandson. Congratulations. That is awesome. Congratulations to Kristen Vasquez with the new little one. Tell him we said what's up and welcome to the world. Gonna have a good time. All right, if y'all are ready, let's go ahead and get into it. Again, I don't have too many announcements. I want to get right into the content because I know we've got a lot to cover today. Let me double check and make sure we're good there. I've got everybody that's good. All right, I got it. Give me 1 second, y'all, actually. Here we go. We're ready to go. Woo, man. This is going to be a fun one. And I'm glad that we're I'm glad that we're starting with this topic because a lot went down in the YSL trial yesterday. As y'all saw, we covered it. We had a new motion that came out from Mr. Weinstein, aka representation for Yak Gotti, where he talked about another secret ex parte meeting that took place on June 7th. So this was even before Little Woody was locked up. Well, not before he was locked up, but this was before that he was in there for the weekend, before the June 10th ex parte meeting, which we all know about and have seen the transcript of. So what happened is the defense found out about that. Doug Weinstein found out. He was furious, along with Max Shart and a lot of the other attorneys on the defense side, because in this transcript, not only is the defense attorneys being painted as a certain way, but you can see clear examples to the common person, which we are, that Judge Glanville was regularly and intentionally working with the prosecution, which we all know is not okay. So Doug Weinstein, he went and he filed this motion that we went over yesterday. If y'all want to go back and see the full motion, you can go over to my YouTube channel and check everything out there. We go over it, we review it, and we read everything that's happening. One of the things that we pointed out that was interesting, not only about this motion, but about the transcript from the ex parte meeting, was some of the things that Miss Love, Judge Glanville, and Miss Hilton said in here. One of the biggest things in this motion was what they said about Kayla Bumpus. Now, as we know, just going back on the timeline a little bit, when this specific ex parte meeting took place, Kayla was not representing Little Woody at that point. So we need to be clear about that. So it was still Mr. Melnick that was going back and forth with Miss Love. Little Woody at this point, court had already been done for the day. They had been in recess and he was in jail for the weekend, and he was going to be there until the following Monday, which we all know what happened then. So Kayla was not even representing them yet, which is interesting looking back at this, because some of the things that were said in here already made you think and see that Miss Love and Miss Hilton had some ideas about Kayla. And we're going to go into it here in a second. And as I mentioned yesterday, when we read this, I had a feeling Kayla was not going to be happy with the way they were painting her and the things they were implying in this motion, or I should say in this transcript. And I was absolutely correct. We're going to get into her reaction to this transcript here in a second. But first, let me go back and read this last couple paragraphs of the transcript and see what Miss Love had to say about Kayla and a couple other attorneys as well. So she says, just the idea of someone sitting in jail throughout this trial. But if that's what he's been counseled to do, and that's what he does, she's talking about Mr. Melnick counseling Little Woody to do something. That's just wrong. It's wrong because a member of the bar, in my mind, creating that circumstance, he's going to do what the person he trusts to have his best interests at heart tells him to do. And that person, he doesn't have to tell us what he's concerned about, and can just sit there. And when he sees the train coming, stand up and stay stop. But he's got a vacation to go on, so he can't be there. Again, talking crazy-ish about Mr. Melnick, even after he told her earlier that day that for you to say I don't have Little Woody or my client's best interests at heart, you can go F yourself. So he was not happy about that. Then Miss Love says, so Miss Bumpus is going to be there. Miss Bumpus hugging Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Williams. She was hugging Yak Gotti and Young Thug, is going to be here representing the interest of Little Woody, who is supposed to testify against Yak Gotti and Young Thug. That is where we are. That don't pass the smell test. Again, I said as soon as we heard this one, I could see Miss Love having a point. But if what they said was true about the second ex parte meeting, then Miss Bumpus's relationship with Young Thug and Yak Gotti has nothing to do with his contempt. So again, they're contradicting themselves. On one hand, they're saying, well, the defense shouldn't have been in the second June 10th ex parte meeting because it had nothing to do with the case at hand. But then you're going to say that Kayla, knowing, being involved with, having associations with Yak Gotti and Young Thug is an issue because she's going to somehow affect what decisions Lil Woody makes. Like, it doesn't make sense. So again, they're contradicting themselves. And as I mentioned, Kayla had a big problem with this, and she actually ended up going down to the courtroom yesterday. And she was actually, the reason she was there was for a Rule 22, which we're not going to get into the details about that. Basically, she wanted to be able to record from the courtroom and in the courtroom. And we're going to play what happened while she was down in the courtroom, what she said to the judge. She actually made some really great points, but you can, if you listen to what you said, you can tell that she was aware of everything that was said in the transcript of this ex parte meeting. Y'all check this out if you haven't seen it yet, and I'll link to the full video in the description.
All right, where's Miss Bumpus? That's who filed the Rule 22. Good afternoon. All right, so you filed a Rule 22 at what, 11:10 or so? That's fine. The night before last. So.
Oh, I knew she wanted to bump that chair.
That you wanted to start recording for yesterday. And honestly, I didn't even know you had filed it until we were finished with the court yesterday afternoon at 4 something, because it came in so late. And normally the Rule 22s go to our public information office, but I know about it now. And so I have provided notice to all of the parties, and I will listen now to, or ask if there is objection from any of the parties or witnesses or victims to the Rule 22 filed by Ms. Bumpus.
There are no objections, so looks like she's good.
All right. So I am not real. So what are you looking to do?
Your Honor, I just want to be able to record what's going on in the courtroom.
All right. And you had already, I guess, yesterday live streamed.
What could Ms. Hilton be talking about?
Somebody else's
Yes.
live stream. What is that person's name?
Miss Sylvia.
Miss.
And I want to know how she knew about this too. I don't think that has been addressed, but it is kind of interesting either way.
Sylvia.
Yeah, she's sitting in the courtroom.
Okay. All right. So there are an inordinate number of separate Rule 22s in this case. Anyway, I'm not really sure why everybody is not using the pooled media that is already, I mean, it's like 8 or 10 media organizations are using one pool, and then there's Miss Sylvia.
Look at her looking at the prosecution.
Separate one, and then lots of people who have the ability to take still photography and audio, and it's just a lot. It's like 8 or 9 different things. But I am not sure that yet another person doing essentially the same thing adds to the public's access to this proceeding. There is 24/7 coverage of this, a pooled camera, and Miss Sylvia's separate video recording that you can access anyway, apparently. So, I mean, if you want to be heard as to how that either increases the public's access or helps with the dignity of the court or the administration of justice or the truth-finding function of this proceeding, I'm willing to listen to what you have to say.
And Kayla makes a good point here in a second, but I don't see what the big deal is. If we've already got 8, what's another one more? I get maybe the judge is saying that it's going to be a distraction, but I mean, Kayla is going to explain it here in a minute.
I'll be brief. I just would like to say that at any point, these other people who are part of this pool, they have logos and they can pull what I am streaming on my personal YouTube and do copyright issues. They have their own logo on there. And also, I don't always
She's
want
right.
everything that they are streaming. I don't need the full court hearing all the time. There are specific parts that I need to reference and informing the public of what's going on. And that's my point of being here. And I'm just trying to do everything right so that I can, you know, pass the smell test.
Okay, so
Y'all hear what she said? She said she wants to be able to pass the smell test. Hey, Kayla. Shots fired in open court. She does not care. I told y'all, man, she was not happy about that. I'm going to run that back. And of course, as we know, what is she referencing right here? What did Miss Love say? That doesn't pass the smell test. Dang. Well played. Well played.
I need to reference and informing the public of what's going on. And that's my point of being here. And I'm just trying to do everything right so that I can, you know, pass the smell test.
okay, so with regard to, I mean,
love
obviously
it.
you can let the public know anything you want to, and you can video blog, vlog, all you want to, any kind of opinion that you want to about the case. And you can obviously also sit here and watch all of the proceedings. Are you saying that you can't use somebody else's, like the news media coverage?
It has their logo on it. At any time they can say it's copywritten and take it from me. Or
It is
on my page.
copyrighted.
Have you asked anybody other than, is Miss Sylvia okay with you using her? Because honestly, it is.
Say no,
it's
Miss
a little
Sylvia.
bit disruptive to have essentially phones in court. I mean, it ought to be that unless you are somebody who has a Rule 22 already in effect, or you are an attorney in the case, you shouldn't have your phone out or on or anything. And it's kind of chaotic in this entire part of the courtroom.
I hear you, but come on, Judge.
And I find it to be distracting. I find there to be security concerns with having to constantly figure out, okay, who is authorized to have their phone out, who is not. And so what I would like is until there's some point when you find out that you're not able to use somebody else's, what they've already taped. I mean, I'm kind of saying, why don't you and Miss Sylvia be the second pool? Okay, would that work?
We'll try it out.
Okay, so let's do that. Y'all are now the second pool.
You will revisit it if I have an issue.
Sure.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
There it is. Look at Kayla.
Thanks.
Oh, she was throwing some shade while she was up there too. I love it, man. I love that she stood up for herself. She went into court and said, hey, listen, I'm up here trying to do my thing and I want to let them know I heard what they said and it is on. So shout out to her. She gives a little bit more detail. We're going to look at her live stream video here in a minute. But what needs to happen now, especially if she wants to be able to live stream this, she's going to have to get with Sylvia and say, hey, Sylvia, can you put a letter together and say, you know, that you want to be able to live stream this content on your own. You don't want to be able to use such and such and such. And maybe she could possibly get her own live feed. But I don't know if this was more so her wanting to get in court and make that point or her actually wanting the Rule 22. But either way, I hope she gets it. And this was a great moment in a court that I think is going to go down in history. So shortly after this, Kayla went on to a live stream with Cat Not Williams. Y'all know, shout out to Cat Not Williams. Make sure you go check her out. I will also leave a link to her channel in the description, as well as the link to this video and Kayla's channel in the description too. But they went together on the live and she actually finally reacted to everything that was said in this transcript. So we're going to check this out. I want to see what y'all think too.
This is like the silence where Brian said, I hope it's worth it. That's the silence I just gave y'all. It's the silence like where I hope it's worth it, because what's wrong with these people? And I called Kat. That's the first person I call when I get out the courtroom. And then I call Miss Jefferson because, you know, I'm new to
She
this
didn't call
whole
me back. I'm
internet
kind of
stuff,
hurt.
but these people have been so great to me. And so I'm just very confused about I'm just confused because not once have I said anything negative about Adrian, and I'm on the same page with Brian. At this point, the only person I'm about to talk to is Fonnie Willis. I don't want to talk to her either because she allows it to go on. So I don't want to talk
That's
to nobody.
true.
I barely want to practice law anymore after this because what do y'all got going on?
Dang, Kayla, don't say that now. Here's the thing. When you're in these type of settings, whether it's sales, whether it's a corporate setting, whether it's being an attorney, and Kayla knows this, you have certain things that you have to do. And as long as you're playing within the rules of the game, it is what it is. Now, I could see where she could be upset and say, okay, this is going beyond what the normal rules of the game are, because now you're attacking me personally. And she wasn't even involved at this point. They hadn't even met. She hadn't talked with Lil Woody as far as we know at this point. So these type of personal attacks, not needed. So I get it, but it happens.
I don't want you to feel like that. Maybe
I've been feeling like that.
Don't quit,
it's
Kayla.
just that office.
Work
maybe,
too hard.
because it seems to be a repeat problem. I mean, we heard BrianSteel when he was talking about, he's trying to renew the plea in bar for the fatal flaws in the indictment. He's like, this is another major RICO case. I don't want to mention it. And he says the Trump RICO that this office messed up. So maybe that's just not the right office to go and practice in.
Yeah, I mean, we all seen what was going down with Fulton County. So I don't think anybody has a lot of faith in Fulton County judicial system right now. Will they be able to get it back? We'll see. Let me skip forward in this video. We're going to go to the 1445 mark, and she gives a little bit more of insight into what happened behind the scenes here.
They didn't have to. They could have just said, you're supposed to be here.
I believe that in conveying to the court that Ms. Bumpus is going to stand in his stead. Ms. Bumpus she was, the word is. So once again, Ms. Love, you can't get your words out. We don't know what you're trying to say. You're making up stuff as you go. And I'm in disbelief. What's the word, baby girl? The
Shouldn't
word
be
is
surprised.
I'm looking for it. We never got the word. Just like we can never get a yes or no. We can never
That
get
was like
Georgia
3
case
hours of court
law.
today with her doing this.
Ma'am, yes or no? And why can't we get Georgia case law? And why the only Georgia case you ever presented from 1978? Find something safe to do, Adrian.
Dang.
The sheriff had to speak to her because she was in the courtroom trying to hug Jeffrey Williams. Adrian wasn't in the courtroom. Like I say, I'm about with Brian. She can't never speak to me again. She can never look at me again. That's how Deputy Brown knows better than to talk to me today. He didn't say a word to me. I believe he's been instructed not to talk to
They're
me.
not
and find
friends
something safe
anymore.
to do as well. But that go for Adrian at this point too. So Adrian was not. I'm gonna give y'all the real backstory. Adrian was not even in the courtroom when I hugged Yak and Thug. Adrian was outside of the courtroom. Simone was in the courtroom. So we'll go through this. And here goes
That's dirty.
No, she hugged Diamante Kendrick, which is exactly what happened. I walked up to Yak and gave him a hug. This was an empty courtroom. The only people that was in the courtroom was the defendants and Simone. There were no attorneys. Brian wasn't in there. Nobody was in there. And I walked up to them because it was an empty courtroom. I would have never done it if there were people, spectators, family members. I would have never walked up to them. There was no judge on the bench. There was no court reporter. There was nobody. So I walked up to them.
So basically nobody would have known about it.
And y'all know how they sit in the courtroom. So Yak is sitting in the front. So I walk up to Yak, I hug him. As soon as I turn, Thug is right there. I don't know what kind of games y'all playing, but what make y'all think I'm not gonna go hug him too? I go hug him. These people been in custody for 18 months. What make you think they don't deserve a hug? They've been going through this. Like,
do y'all have a problem with this? I want y'all to let me know in the comments. If you're a witness and your representation is good or has a good relationship or talking with the defendants, do y'all have an issue with that? I don't know. I don't know if I would have an issue in this situation. It doesn't seem like a big deal to me. But again, I also get what Ms. Love is saying. It's kind of weird that you have this good relationship with the defendants and then you're supposed to represent Lil Woody, who's going to be testifying against them. I mean, I get what she's saying. Did she have to insinuate those things? No, but I kind of see what she means.
what is a hug? It wasn't inappropriate. It wasn't like it was nothing about it that was inappropriate. And I say this, and I don't mean it lightly. If I walk into courtroom 8C, 8B, 7A, 3D, whatever, and I see a family member, a client, an ex-client, I'm
Yeah, I don't
gonna
have a
hug
problem
them
with it.
because that's just a part of being a lawyer is being a counselor. It doesn't have anything to do with being young thug, baby. That they famous to you. To me, this is like a family person. You know, I'm just giving them a hug out of love,
Exactly.
out of support. It has nothing to do with who they are. It has everything to do with they're still a person. So I just went in there and it was no big deal. The deputy did not know who I was. And she simply said, "Who are you?" Thug and Yak both said, "Whoa, we know her. Family, lawyer, leave her alone, cool, whatever." Deputy said, "Okay," and let me sit down. So this blows me that Miss Hilton says, in fact, she hugged Diamante Kendrick and hugged Mr. Williams. And that's how Captain Kendall saw her, and Captain Kendall had her taken out. That's lies. I was never taken out of the courtroom. Like, that is
Dang.
such a lie. And even if
believe
it
it.
was the truth, it happened 2 months before I knew Melnick was going on vacation, before I knew I was standing in. And Mr. Copeland is very aware of who I know. And who I am. So I have here go Rachel, y'all. Hey Rachel. Rachel knows how upset I was. She was right there.
And that's
I'm
Rachel
upset
Kaufman,
rereading that
another
transcript.
attorney.
It really pisses me off.
It gets
Yeah.
worse each time.
I mean, yeah, I said the smell, what did she said, doesn't pass the smell test.
We haven't even got there yet, Rachel.
Oh,
Hold
well,
on.
fine, sorry. But Adrian, you don't pass the smell test. Shame on you. Okay,
Dang.
Hilton,
they
that
can't
makes
stand her.
That makes when Woody said she stank
That-
even funnier to
that-
Hilton.
Exactly.
Somebody clip it. Somebody clip Kayla in court with that clip of Woody going get back to
Yeah,
Hilton.
let's put together smell test. And hold on. So, anyways, long story short, she says Captain Kendall has me taken out, and then the only reason Adrian knows, y'all stop calling her Miss Love. Her name Adrian.
Dang.
So
All right, no more Miss Love.
Adrian,
Lawyer Adrian.
Yeah, no, not even that. We're just gonna call her Adrian. So because she calls me, I'm gonna tell you how she addresses me and how she titles me. We're gonna get there in a second.
Yeah, and I see y'all saying in the comments you don't have an issue with the hug. I honestly don't have an issue with it. She's known, Little Woody has known her way before this when he was still with YSL, and he knew that Kayla had a relationship with all of them. They had a relationship. It's a non-issue, and I think putting them this way is kind of messed up. They're still people at the end of the day.
Girl, you wasn't even in the courtroom. I seen Adrian outside the courtroom. I said, girl, what's going on in there? Like I told y'all, I've been very honest with y'all. Yeah. I have not followed this case, so I did not know everything that was going on. I didn't know what was happening in the courtroom. So, you know, I just know Adrian. So I'm like, what's going on in there? Them people trying to put me in jail for hugging Thug. What's up?
It's wild.
That's the only reason she know I was trying to hug Jeffrey Williams. She was not in the courtroom. And then you just say anything. That's how you know that lady just say anything.
Yeah, we've seen it. And we believe
like,
it.
you got all the emails wrong. Yeah.
Anyway, we go to the last part right here. Then that's when we get to Rachel's part.
Oh
right
man,
here.
I just can't even stand it. And we got to you already went over the part where Adrian was talking about what homework her and the judge were going to be doing.
Oh no, we go to back.
Oh,
to
that was good too.
That
was good too.
I'm wondering what kind of text messages were going back between them.
Yeah, we'll never know. Probably
phone calls, all kind of stuff.
I don't think
we'll
it was
never
just
know.
in court. That's my thought.
No, because the judge even says if we need to address this over the weekend. So then she says, Miss Bumpus is going to be here. Miss Bumpus, this is how she titles me. Miss Bumpus, hugging Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Williams, is going to be here representing the interest of Kenneth Copeland, who is supposed to testify against Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Williams. This is where we are. That doesn't pass a smell test. Bitch, you don't pass a smell test.
Oh,
like, I don't know what's wrong with her.
This relationship is over. I mentioned yesterday that Kayla, she said, hey, listen, I don't want to say anything about Miss Love or Miss Hilton. I still have clients. I still have to work with them. I'm trying to keep it chill. They're done. This is over. And I think rightfully so. Not only were they pillow talking with Judge Glanville, but they're over here putting her reputation in shining the reputation in a bad light. And it wasn't just her. As we saw when we reviewed this entire transcript, and the reason that this motion came forward from Doug Weinstein was because they were talking about Attorney Melnick. They were talking about BrianSteel and implying BrianSteel and Doug Weinstein and Max Sharp were all somehow in cahoots to get Little Woody to do certain things. And as y'all saw in court yesterday, they were not having any part of it. And I don't blame all of them for being upset, because in both ways, they've kept it pretty neutral. Now all of this is coming out. You see the behavior of the prosecution in this trial. It's just continued to be a mess.
She's worried about all the wrong things. She's upset that she's not going to be able to get her witness to the witness that she wants to say certain things, that there's lawyers who are advising him based on his best interest. She disagrees because it's not in her best interest.
Yep.
That's what's happening. And then she's complaining to the judge like a big baby. It's like fifth grade stuff. Like, oh, she was hugging DeMonte. No, she was hugging Jeffrey. No, she was hugging both. I mean, what are we fucking? I mean, are we 15 years old?
Kat, what motion is that in Doug's motion where he says is that this motion that we have pulled up?
Where he calls them yentas?
Yes.
Gossiping yentas? Yes.
I can tell you that's Yiddish for gossiping woman.
Oh, here it goes, right here. It is not a fair trial when in an ex parte meeting, Glanville, Love, and Hilton gossip like yentas over a 13-page transcript about attorney Sharp, Melnick, and Steele.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, you can look it up on Urban Dictionary, but that's like Yiddish for being gossiping women. And that's really what it is. It's like, that relationship between the state and the judge is incredibly concerning. And I'm hoping that Judge Whitaker, I mean, for better or worse, I know she is concerned about Adrian being honest and truthful. So I'm really hopeful that she understands just how deep this goes. I think Max Shard was the one that said that, like, you can't start giving them a fair trial at witness 76.
That's a great point.
It doesn't, the fact that they have not had a fair trial thus far, I mean, it basically, and he doesn't want a mistrial. So I don't really understand exactly what they're asking for at this point, but it is, what a trash dump, just all over the place. They're worried about outside influencers. And even today, Judge Whitaker was talking to you about how, like, you know, what's going on over there, meaning where the public sits, is distracting. It's called a public courtroom, ma'am.
Yeah, and I think that one of the reasons that they're doing this, and that's whether that's Mr. Harvey, Doug Weinstein, Max Sharp, you can see that they're all attacking this from different angles. You have BrianSteel, who's the bruiser, who's saying, hey, throw this thing out of here. You have Doug Weinstein, who was a little bit reserved and laid back and saying, okay, maybe we should wait. We should go through the motions, go through the process. Now he's taking his shot at this being a mistrial. Then you have Mr. Harvey, who's saying, Judge, you don't even have enough time to look at everything that's been done throughout this entire trial. Because even though we haven't covered a lot of ground, there's been a lot of information that's been given to the jury, to the public. There's been so many motions that have been ruled on. Then you've got Max Sharp, who's saying these testimonies that we're hearing, those testimonies are flawed. And here's all the reasons why. So they're just continuing to build their case moving towards a mistrial. And you can hear a lot in the language from Judge Whitaker, where she's saying, hey, guys, listen, we're going to go through the process. I'm going to make sure I dot my I's and cross my T's. And once we get to this point to where you guys want to ask for a mistrial after I've reviewed all the pertinent information, at that point, then you can present this. So I think it's a bad look for the prosecution that the defense is having this much time to prepare for a mistrial, because I think once we get there, there are so many things that are going to drop one after the other. And we're only compiling and finding out more evidence. We just found about this ex parte meeting yesterday. So let me know what y'all think. Give it up to Kayla, man. She got her get back a little bit. I'm glad she got to say something in open court to them and let them know that she wasn't cool with what they did. I think it was messed up, especially with her hugging somebody who she knows personally. Didn't take place in open court in front of a lot of people. And they decided to air this out, knowing that the transcripts could be made public at any time. So I want to hear what y'all think. Let me go to the comments and see what y'all are saying in here. And shout out to everybody who's in the building. We've got over 486,000 of y'all. If y'all could do me a favor, make sure you like the video while you're here. Not only are likes free, not only does it take less than a second to like the video, but it does help the channel continue to grow. It lets the algorithm know you guys are enjoying the show and it shares it with more people. Let me see what y'all are saying in here. Roro says some things should just remain professional and not everything on YouTube. I can definitely see that. Shout out to Trini is in here. Hopefully I said your name right. Says defaming someone for what is not cool. Young is in the building as well. Says who cares? It was unprofessional. Now she's embarrassed. I mean, you can make that point. You can definitely make that point. It's just, I think it's one of those situations that it wouldn't have even mattered if Miss Hilton hadn't mentioned it in this ex parte meeting, because we would have just keep it moving. I mean, Kayla went there. She did her job for Lil Woody as best as he could. Lil Woody fired her. He said she fired and she got up out of there. I don't know what else you can do. Shout out to Jashawn or Jashawn. I'm probably saying that wrong. Jashawn Richardson says Steel doesn't have admiralty. Oh man, I don't know what that means. I'm going to have to copy that and look it up. Maritime law to cover his ignorance of the constitutional law. You slaves don't get to free killers of poor black men. Sorry. Okay, boy, that was a lot there. She fine. Lauren Robinson says they don't have their ish together. Judge was irritated yesterday. G Lander is in the building. Says I think they never thought the transcript would be made available to the defense until the judge asked for that meeting to be transcribed. There wasn't even a transcript in existence. Well, you want to talk about being unprofessional? The way it doesn't matter. When the meeting's being recorded, you need to assume that it's going to be made public. So this was essentially in a public setting, and them talking about the attorneys like this before the court in a public setting is just, I mean, unprofessional. So if we want to talk about unprofessional, we gotta put it on the prosecution as well. Noobs, the new timer in the building. Appreciate you. Woody fired her because she had vacation plans that were going to be destroyed by having to stay in court with the other lawyers already out of town. Woody fired her as a favor to her. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if she had vacation plans, but I know she had some other stuff she had to do. And he was going to testify anyway, so it really didn't matter if she stayed around or not. Shout out to Mike in the building. Says, talk about how they slapped the mic around. Yeah, they be abusing that mic, man. We need to file some. Somebody needs to press charges. Wealthy Wisdom said this is a situation that happened months ago, and because they wanted Woody to testify and he wouldn't because Melnick, they're reaching for everything. They knew before that Kayla is close with the defendants, and so is Little Woody. So again, I mean, Little Woody's close with the defendants too. Now, what type of relationship he has with them, I think that's a different story, but everybody's close with everybody. Deshaun Richardson says Hollywood and politics have been having military tribunals at Gitmo. Hence, that's where Diddy's home is. Young says, who would even say that stuff? They are awful. Yeah, it's messed up. Lauren Robinson says him firing her was a tactic. I agree 100%. Let me see who else we got in here. I think Amy sent, where did Amy send that video? Oh, she said this is the video with Woody saying that Miss Hilton stinks. Let me see if y'all can see this.
For Echo Hotel.
Shout out to Amy.
Echo. You bet.
Look at his face, man. That gets me every time. What he said, oh no. You gotta back up. That is hilarious, man. Shout out to Lil Woody. What else we got in here? Mar says Kayla went from not saying anything bad about the state to F it. Love messed up. Yeah, she let it fly after that. And I don't blame her. But I hope, man, she said she's not going to practice law anymore. I think that's a little bit drastic. And I'm sure she was just being, she was just saying that in the moment. But I think if you're going to look at Fulton County as an example of how things usually go, then I don't know. That's a pretty low bar to set, I think, for the justice system. Wealthy Wisdom says her hugging them isn't a big deal because it was an empty court. Based on the nature of the case, you don't want anyone to be asking questions, but it isn't a big deal. They're using it to win. Yeah, and I mean, some of these attorneys that y'all have used and some of these attorneys that have been in court in the past, they were out 2 hours before playing golf with the judge that's ruling on the case. So again, I get it. It's probably not the best look, but I mean, if you're on the golf course and you want to play with the judge and then you can go and do your job in the courtroom, fine. If you want to give a hug to Young Thug and Yak Gotti and then go talk to your representation that's going to be testifying against them, it is what it is. It's just the nature of the business. I don't know if we can do anything to change that. Is it strange? Yeah, but I mean, they're still human at the end of the day. I'm gonna read a couple more comments and we're gonna keep it moving. Amy said, that's the quickest I see her move. Jashawn is making us thinking here, says research. There is over 1 million sealed RICO indictments across the United States. Ask yourself why. Oh, we don't have to ask. We already know what's up. I forgot the name of the lawyer Woody fired, Kayla Bumpus, is a cutie. Oh, look at him. I watched a couple of her podcasts and she is fun to watch, although I worry she might get herself in trouble with some of the things she says. She should be fine now. As long as she doesn't talk about any attorney-client privileges, she'll be okay. It seems like Woody and Kayla, when it comes to content, have gone their separate ways. So if she's in danger of anything, I don't think it's in any more danger than somebody who has a regular job. So I think she's at a good place now. She's figuring it out. I thought she's gonna figure it out. Mixed Chick Samantha says the state is most definitely unprofessional. Kayla moved with her heart and it backfired. Glanville made it clear he watches videos. That's a fact. Julie is in the building. Shout out to Julie. Says I can't wait to see the judge. I can't wait to see what the judge does when Love and Hilton don't have the witness plus exhibit list. It's going to be interesting. Cat Dragons in here says, that's what I'm wondering. Boss is back in the building. Good morning, Boss says, I thought the hugs were fine, but then Thug was squeezing. I got to read these before I put them on the screen. Oh my gosh. Amy says, I know Fanny is about to blow a gasket. I hope Steele uses this clip on Cross amongst others on the bold-faced lie Love said about Woody being scared to testify for his safety. Okay, let's check this one out. Look, you're fine, boss. Let's see what this one's about. Amy with the sauce, man.
Oh, that Woody!
Lil Woody out here living his best life, man. Shout out to Woody, man. Going crazy in the Hellcat. Oh my gosh. Wealthy Wisdom said, this judge isn't used to this type of behavior happening in her court, and she's surprised this all is happening. I think she's not surprised because she's in Fulton County, so she knows. I think she's surprised that a lot of the prosecution and even in some cases the defense of how unprepared they are and how difficult it seems for them to follow her instructions. Because we saw on Tuesday especially and on yesterday, on Wednesday's live stream, that they were struggling at some points. Shout out to JG in the building that said, I'm no fan of Love or Hilton or Glanville, but why is she hugging defendants in custody? Anyone would question her professionalism from a lawyer standing in to represent a snitch acting like a groupie. Well, she's not. And that's what Kayla said in the video. She's not a groupie. She's known these guys for a long time. She's the godmother of someone who's close to Young Thug. So she's not a groupie. She's family. And I think they just, in this case, they got to let her go. They need to leave her alone. Deshaun Richardson says the lady judge is Glanville 2.0. Oh, say they so. Constitutional law will be applied. Killers don't get to go free. Oh, man. It's not that I want killers to go free. I just want to see the justice system function the way that it's supposed to function. And so far, we have not seen that at all. The prosecution has been over the place. You've got the state that is colluding and cooperating and on the same team as the prosecution. It's a mess, man. It's a mess. And I hope you're wrong. I hope that's not the case, but because Judge Whitaker seems like she's just a straight arrow and she's going to play it down the middle, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. Boss said, Woody may be breaking traffic laws with the donuts. Does his immunity cover that too? Julie Horn says, know who is unprofessional and unprepared? Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. Wealthy Wisdom, her court runs like clockwork. Not the mess between prosecutors, but the fact that they're dragging their feet. Yeah, and I know it seems like she's dragging her feet. I think she just wants to go through the whole process. And she even, I'm releasing or dropping a video about it later. She even said when it came to bond for Young Thug, she said, right now we're not going to do anything with the bond, but at a later time, if we get more information, as I'm starting to clean up some of this mess that's happened in the case, and we see, okay, maybe there was an issue here. We also heard yesterday that BrianSteel is questioning he's questioning the indictments itself and saying there's some errors found in the indictment. So if we get along in the process and then it comes to a point to where we say, hey, maybe we need to revisit bond, then we can revisit it. So she's just going through the process and it's going to take a while, y'all. To be honest, I don't think Judge Whitaker claims she hasn't been following this case, but she's got a lot of mess to clean up and go through. Shout out to Ms. Perry says, keep in mind the hug happened 2 months before Bumpus even knew she would be needed to stand in. The hug happened 2 months before she would be needed to stand in. Oh, I see what, okay. I see what you're saying. So what if it happened 2 months before, why was she there? Just showing support? I must have missed that she said that. I'm going to drop the link in the description for this full video. Maybe she mentions it here. So you're saying that this all didn't take place within the same time frame. When she was hugging Yak Gotti and Thug, not only was it while no one was in the courtroom, but it took place months before. Man, they're just being petty at this point. Lauren Robinson says, Judge said she needs a commercial mop and a shop vac to clean up on aisle 10. That's an understatement. She needs about 3 of them. Noob says, I'm dead tired of seeing the law constantly break the law. The end. Just want a fair trial. Shout out to Scott Free in the building. A mistrial should be declared because they have right now is the appearance of misconduct and bias. It's not the appearance. It's straight up bias. Straight up. And this is count number 2. This second, or I guess it's the second ex parte meeting is evidence to that. That should be enough to end the trial. I agree 1000%. Beth Davis is up in here. Miss Love is hurt because nobody will hug her low down self. Oh my gosh. I can't stand Miss Love or Miss Hilton. I'm with you on that. And through my lenses, there's nothing wrong with hugging someone. Adrian. Yeah, I don't rock with them either. All right, last one, and then we're going to get into the next topic. R. Smith says, at least now this will be a constitutionally governed trial proceeding, which levels the playing field. The prosecutors have very little evidence of any RICO activity. This has always been a reach. And I think I mentioned this yesterday, but if you're on the jury, and even as a person who's just watching and reviewing this case, we're looking at everything that's been presented. Do we really remember anything other than she 5? Or back up. Or Judge Glanville and BrianSteel going back and forth, or him calling BrianSteel unprofessional. And granted, the jury hasn't seen all of this, but what are actually the facts of this case? Does anybody remember? Because up until this point, we've heard a good bit of facts, but have you really heard something that says, I remember when the prosecution had this witness on the stand and he said such and such and such, that's going to make me believe that beyond a reasonable doubt that this happened? Nope. I don't even know what we're doing at this point. Kay Cooper's in the building. What's up, Kay Cooper? So if we're seeing this and thinking that out of all this information that we've been able to have, what do you think the jury is saying? They're probably wondering what in the world is going on. And if we're gonna act like they're not watching these trials on YouTube, just like Whitaker was, I think we'd be lying to ourselves. All right, let's get into this next section. This one is going to be an interesting one because it looks like we have some new filings from our guy, the lawyer of the year, BrianSteel. Give it up. The Honorable Attorney BrianSteel. This is going to be a good one. So let me make sure we're good. First of all, I got to give a big shout out to Thugger Daily, has been covering this case in an amazing way, making a lot of these documents readily available to everyone to see. And Thugger Daily posted this yesterday and dropped the link to the motion, which we're going to go over here in just a second. All right. So yesterday during court, Judge Whitaker directed BrianSteel, Young Thug's lawyer, to have his renewed motion to dismiss plea and bar and general demurrer that Glanville denied in November of last year. And then we've got the full motion here. So now I've got the full motion for y'all right here. You may be wondering, as I was, what is a plea and bar? And I looked up a simple definition. It says a plea and bar is a legal defense used in criminal or civil cases to completely prevent a lawsuit or prosecution from proceeding. It asserts that even if the allegations are true, there is a reason that the case should not continue. Common examples include statute of limitations running out or double jeopardy, which means the person has already been tried for the same offense. So this is what we're talking about here. We all know what the motion to dismiss means, so we're good there. And we're going to keep moving through this one and see what BrianSteel, aka Young Thug, is trying to get done here. All right, check this out. The state of Georgia versus Young Thug, aka Jeffrey Williams, aka BrianSteel. This is a letter to Judge Whitaker. Renewed plea and bar, motion to dismiss, and general demurrer. Comes now, Young Thug, by and through undersigned counsel, and hereby files this renewed, what we just said in the above referenced case in support of this renewed X. Young Thug shows as false. We know he's going to say he's innocent. He always puts this first. I love it. Young Thug is innocent of all charges in the above reference indictment. On or about November 2nd, Young Thug timely filed a plea and bar, motion to dismiss, and general demurrer in the above reference case. We're going to keep it moving. On November 27th, recused Judge Glanville. Well, here we go. At least he called him judge this time. Entered an order denying this plea and bar, motion to dismiss, etc., etc. Young Thug timely requested a certificate of immediate review concerning the denial of his plea and bar. Of course, the recused judge denied same. Judge Glanville wasn't giving the defense anything. That's sad. Sad, man. He's gone, though. We're all good. On November 30th, Young Thug filed a notice. Oh man, I just realized y'all cannot see this. I apologize. Hold on a second. There we go. On November 30th, Young Thug filed a notice to appeal to the Honorable Court of Appeals of Georgia. And on January 7, 2024, Young Thug timely filed brief of appellant with the Honorable Appellate Court. And we're going to have a note here in a second that says, please note the brief of appellant Young Thug reference to as appellate and cites the record of the case, which consists only of the indictment in the case at bar. All right. And then it says on January 19th, the Honorable Court of Appeals of Georgia issued an order dismissing Young Thug's appeal, finding that it lacked jurisdiction. Young Thug files this renewed plea and bar motion to dismiss, etc., and asks this honorable court to rule the same after hearing from the parties. So he's got some backup. Young Thug relies upon this brief of appellate written for the Honorable Court of Appeals, Georgia, now memorialized as Exhibit C. Wherefore, Young Thug respectfully requests this honorable court hold a hearing on this renewed plea and bar motion to dismiss, and at the conclusion of the same, ask the honorable court to grant the above requested relief. All right, so he's trying to, BrianSteel still over there working. We're going to scroll down and actually look at this plea and bar. This is the original one that was filed on November 2nd of last year. And we're not going to review the whole thing, but I definitely want to see some of the evidence and some of the things that BrianSteel is saying for reasons this should be dismissed. So let's check it out. Comes now, Young Thug by and through undersigned counsel and hereby files this motion. We'll just say Young Thug is innocent of all charges in the above referenced indictment. The grand jury wrongfully indicted Young Thug in the above referenced case on or about October 5th of 2022. In count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, counts 56, 57, and so on and so forth. And what were we talking about here? Count 61, possession of a firearm during a commission of a felony, and count 62, possession of a machine gun. Good Lord. Now, a lot of y'all may not know this. Young Thug is not a felon. He's not a convicted felon. So his record's clean in that sense. A lot of the things that happened when he was actually arrested are a little blurry just because they're having trouble showing that some of those things belong to him. And I think that's one of the issues that the prosecution is going to run into. But we'll get to that at a later date if this case continues to move forward. As to count 1, the RICO conspiracy count fails to charge / allege the proper mens rea. Hence, an essential element of that count of indictments has not been pled by the grand jury, and thus this plea and bar such and such is good. What does he say here? He gives a note based upon information and belief. All co-indictees get the benefit of this argument. And then count 56 and 57 wrongfully charged Young Thug with participation in criminal street gang activity, but both failed to allege the material element in Young Thug's conduct was intended to further the supposed mission and interest of the criminal street gang. Hence, both these targeted counts are fatally defective. And again, this is one of the things that they're going to have trouble showing proof of. There's some pieces that can be connected, but if you're on the jury and you're looking at this, which some of y'all may be at some point or maybe have been in the past and might be in the future, the evidence, it ain't great. It ain't great. Moreover, as to count 56, the grand jury failed to charge the essential elements of murder, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, armed robbery, hijacking a motor vehicle, sale of marijuana, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, theft by receiving a firearm, and possession of a weapon by a convicted felon. Without the essential elements of these crimes being pled in this court, the grand jury failed to assert an essential elements of this crime. Thus, counts 56 must be dismissed, and this general demurrer is good. As to count 58, Young Thug was wrongfully charged with violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. They can't prove that it was his. I don't know if I remember right. I don't know if he was even in the house when they got this, but y'all can correct me on that in the comments. I'm probably wrong. But anyway, as to count 58, Young Thug was wrongfully charged with violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, to wit, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute. However, the essential element of the mens rea of this crime was not pled, and thus this count of the indictment cannot withstand the general demur. As to count 59, violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Acts, to wit, the possession of the codeine with intent to distribute. Means he's just had a big amount. He had a lot of codeine in there. Oh my gosh, man. Y'all chill. The grand jury failed to allege a material element of this crime, to wit, the mental state. Hence, the count cannot withstand the grand demur. All right, let's keep going. As to count 60, violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, to wit, possession of cocaine. Boy, they were partying it up over there. The grand jury again failed to allege the necessary mens rea, and hence a material element of this crime has been omitted by the grand jury. Thus, the general demur is good. Count 61. Basically, he's going through and saying there's just no grounds for this. There's a lot in here, though. Count 61. Wrongly charged Young Thug with possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony without the requisite mens rea being found by a grand jury. Hence, the general demur is good. We go through count 62. Wrongfully charged Young Thug with possession of a machine gun, and the grand jury failed to plead the necessary mens rea. Based upon information and based upon the above, Young Thug respectfully requests this honorable court to grant this general demur, release Young Thug from this indictment, and deem Young Thug exonerated. Oh, man, y'all think that's going to happen? Wherefore, Young Thug respectfully requests this honorable court to hold a hearing to this plea and bar, etc. And at the conclusion of the same, ask this honorable court to grant the above requested relief. Now, this goes on because there's more that they show here. This is the certificate here, and this is Exhibit B. This is the order denying defendant Young Thug's plea in bar, which was signed by, of course, we'll go down to the bottom and see, the Honorable Chief Judge Ural Glanville. So he denied it. And that's what they're showing here in these exhibits. So it kind of gives you guys a little bit of background. Now that this is renewed, we have to ask the question, do y'all think that Judge Whitaker is going to look at everything that was mentioned in his original motion and say, maybe you have something here, I'm going to look at it and see? Do you think she's just going to move forward and say, I get the game that you're trying to play, BrianSteel, but everything that the grand jury found is sound, and we're going to keep moving forward. So she's going to deny it as well. Let me know what y'all think. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. And we got a couple more things to get to in here. Shout out to Grateful is in the building. It says, I think he needs more than prayer. Who are y'all talking about? Shout out to Amy over there dropping the links. Absolutely amazing. Amy is the best. Killing it. Anna Marie Yalo says, at the end of the trial, they almost complete their sentences. Oh, man. Shout out to Kay Cooper with the super chat. I appreciate you, Kay Cooper. She said, my first super chat. Love your channel. Appreciate Kay Cooper, my fellow bag chaser up in there. Yep, found Kay Cooper over on Anton Daniels' channel. Y'all go check out my guy, Anton Daniels. And big shout out to Kay Cooper for showing love with the super chat. Thank you, Kay Cooper. I appreciate that. Mixed Chick Samantha said, I need to scroll up. Oh my gosh. All right, I want to see what y'all are saying about this motion. Oh, Dr. EJ is back in the building and says she might have good intentions of hugging, but in the professional, you have to be above reproach. Great point. Great point. Someone could have walked in and assumed something. Yep, Dr. EJ, what if they walked in and those hands were a little too low? You saw what Mar was saying in the chat. Mar said, hey, man, I'm gonna have to give me a hug. Oh man. Dr. EJ said, wouldn't look great if I went around hugging my patients. Well, it depends on what type of position they're in, Dr. EJ. You probably should avoid that. Some of y'all may not know Dr. EJ is a OBGYN. So yeah, give it up for the doctors. Probably definitely not. If you're maybe in pediatrics, you can give some hugs. OBGYN, I think, requires a specific type of contact, if you know what I'm saying. Mixed Chick Samantha says, right, Lauren, I would never want to be a juror, but I'm too nosy to have seen stuff about this trial. Judge, I didn't look it up. My child was watching on YouTube. Dang. I mean, you see it everywhere. You see it everywhere. Oh man, shout out to Dr. EJ in here. Y'all are saying I need to scroll up some more. Roro says, initially the case had chances of a mistrial without prejudice. After yesterday, it is going to be with. Adrian needs to eject. I know she stayed up all night unable to sleep. And you heard as soon as Judge Whitaker was given the status update, she said, listen, guys, I haven't been watching the case. Stop the cap. But prosecution, y'all might want to try and get some plea deals. You might want to try and see if you can work something out with the defense. I want you guys to work together. You know, let's just figure this out. We'll work together, and you guys need to try and get a win before I shut this thing down. That's the energy I was getting from her, but we'll see. K. Cooper says, well, I hugged my OBGYN because he successfully removed my uterus. Hey, no more babies. Shout out to the uterus removers out there. Dr. EJ doing God's work. Raphael's in the building. Raphael the Moore. He said an OBN giving hugs isn't anything to side eye. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Amy, what did she say? She said, today is my daughter's birthday. And she said her birthday wish is that everyone send ClassE some support. She has my heart. Give it up to Amy Jr., aka Lil Amy, aka Baby Amy. I don't know if you want me to say her name on YouTube, Amy, so I won't. But happy birthday. Hope you have a great, great birthday. And we send you all our love. And may God bless you with many, many more. I love it. I love it. Okay, shout out to Grace, man. Happy birthday, Grace. All right, let me see what y'all are saying. We got a couple more topics we're going to get into, and we're going to keep it moving. Julie Horn says, watch Young Thug's bond hearings, and you can see just how weak this case is. Ooh, those were rough. I remember those. Those were super rough. I see y'all in there saying happy birthday, Grace. She's smiling. Yeah, you have a great day, Grace, too. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. All right, y'all ready to get into this next topic? What do y'all want to get to? I think we got through most of the YSL stuff. I had a couple more things I want to get to that are not YSL, but I think y'all find interesting. Oh man, shout out to, and I'm gonna send these over to Grace too. Mixed Chick Samantha says, just for Amy Jr. Look at y'all. I will make sure I get that to her, Mixed Chick Samantha. Thank you. Just a sample, new timer in the building. Says Democrats out here destroy incarcerated king and queen souls of God left and right. Shaking my head. Y'all want to get into some politics today? Because I got some politics stuff ready. Let me know in the chat. Julie Horn says you're doing a great job. Thank you, Julie. Let's go ahead and get to this next one. Now, this one is not YSL related, but y'all know we're music folk around here. We like talking about things that are going on in the music world, the music industry. Y'all know recently, in the past month or so, gosh, it's probably been 2 months now. A rapper, Fulio, was shot and killed in a hotel. He was hosting the party. Party was at one location. He was not live streaming it, but he was putting it up on Instagram. It was for his birthday. And then they moved to a different location. Things didn't work out there. They moved to another location, ended up at this location. Then somehow some of his ops were able to get his location. And on his birthday, the man was shot and killed. Very sad thing that happened. A lot of people say it's a part of the game, which may be true, but I still don't think, especially someone like that who hasn't injured anyone that we know of, deserves to have their life taken. So most recently, there's been a lot of topic about the people who did it. I mean, there was several people that ran up on them at the hotel that they were having the party at. And we actually have some of the footage from that we're going to show a little bit later. But they recently arrested 3 people that were allegedly involved in the shooting. This is the press conference from the police chief there in Florida that gave some more information and background as to what happened. Y'all check it out. And it's only in one side, so y'all bear with it.
A little more than a month ago, a group of individuals with the goal of premeditated murder traveled from Jacksonville to Tampa to commit a heinous crime in our city.
That's a long drive, too.
I said at that time that we would make arrests and get justice in this case for all the victims, including the mother
I got you,
Charles
Cooper.
Jones, who traveled from Jacksonville this morning to be present for this announcement. Today, I stand before Tampa Police Major Pat Messmer, Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters, and Hillsborough State Attorney Susie Lopez to announce the arrest of 3 people in the deadly shooting of Charles Jones, also known by his stage name of Julio Fulio. In addition, we have warrants and are actively searching for 2 other individuals in this case.
And one of those people is believed to be Young and Ace. Y'all, if y'all have been following this case, Young and Ace and Fulio have had beef going back and forth for years and a long time. And when Fulio was shot and the night it was announced, Young and Ace dropped the video, kind of not even bragging, but kind of talking about some of the things that happened in the shooting. So I'm sure he's going to be talking to the police soon, whether he likes it or not. But he is also somebody who's the suspect in this case as well.
Announcement would not be possible without the outstanding investigative work of our homicide detectives and with the assistance of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and the ATF. These individuals took extreme measures to try to cover their actions, but they were no match for our investigators. Isaiah Chance, Elisa Andrews, Sean Gaithright, Davion Murphy, and Rashard Murphy are all accused of playing a role in Jones's death and are all charged with 1 count of murder in the first degree, premeditated.
There's the 3 right there.
With the discharge of a firearm, and 1 count of conspiracy of murder in the first degree, premeditated with the discharge of a firearm.
Sad, man.
Chance, Andrews, and Gaithright were arrested over the weekend in Jacksonville. Davion Murphy and Rashard Murphy are still fugitives of justice, and we are working closely with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and the U.S. Marshals to apprehend them. On June 23rd,
y'all think they're gonna find them?
Officers responded to a shooting on McKinley Drive and located 4 victims. 1 person, later identified as Charles Jones, was pronounced deceased. Jones was in town celebrating his birthday and posted on his social media his locations several times throughout that night. Surveillance video was critical in this investigation, as suspects were seen on video following Jones from location to location.
Wow. See, this is something that we didn't know. And I want to find the original video. I'm going to find it for y'all. I did not realize that they were actually following him from location to location. There's one of the people who were arrested, especially the female. It's alleged that she was at the party. When we first covered this story, I played this video for y'all. When Fulio, he was at the party, he was saying he's drinking. I don't usually drink. And there was a bunch of girls around. allegedly people that he didn't know. Come to find out, one of them may have been this girl that was arrested with them. Shout out to College Kid. Says 21-year-old Fulio murder suspect Elisa Andrews was allegedly celebrating Jacksonville rapper's birthday with him in Tampa. Told suspects Isaiah Chance and Sean Gaithright his location. This is the oldest trick in the book, man. And I even talked about this when we first covered this happening. I said, man, you got a bunch of people around you, especially when it's if it's a female and she's on her phone, or there's somebody around you that's on their phone constantly, man, you better be on high alert. And we even showed other videos from Fulio as he was going from location to location. You could tell he was a little nervous. He seemed a little anxious, didn't know what was going on. This is the exact video we played too. It's the oldest trick in the book.
Me drinking, cuz. I don't even drink, cuz.
It's crazy.
You're supposed to have a chaser.
Appreciate everybody popping out for my birthday, you know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday!
Everybody got their shot, put their shot in the air, man. Okay, David. Everybody take their shit on 3, man. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, now I can't tell if maybe one of these girls is her. This girl does not look like her, but maybe this one is Alicia. I can't tell from this video.
Got my brother with me. He done popped out for me for my birthday. He done time. It's lit. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, it's sad, man. And this is when they moved. So this is everything that went down. They got shut down the original place, and now they had to move location. Best birthday ever. Appreciate everybody who pulled up. We turned till we can't no more. We on the way to show. Now y'all pull up. And so he did a show, and then they went to the hotel after that.
We came deep as fuck for my birthday, man. Everybody coming up to stairs. No cap, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We deep as hell. We deep as hell. 20 deep. Lit everywhere we go.
Yeah, he even looks in this video looks nervous, man. It's crazy.
That these individuals were willing to go.
What a waste.
Through and achieve that this murder would occur. At 4:15 in the morning, Jones began to head to a hotel on McKinley. One of the suspect vehicles is seen following the victim. However, instead of following them into a parking lot, they stage across the street. At 4:38, 3 shooters exit a vehicle and walked in the direction of the hotel. They murdered Jones with a handgun and
Let's see if I can find
rifles.
the video.
This barrage of gunfire also struck 3 additional victims who miraculously survived this incident.
That's amazing.
Let's look at this video.
Oh, they're going to show the video. Here we go. I have not seen this full
This
thing.
is at the hotel. And you can see the shooters are
This
getting
looks
in
like a
position for their
movie.
planned out murder.
Man, look at this, y'all. This looks like a movie. This doesn't even look real.
And they are shooting at Charles now. And you can see that he's the passenger in that car that's moving and trying to flee.
There's no
And
way
again,
you're
they're still
escaping that.
shooting at him. He's the right front passenger in that vehicle.
And they say miraculously the other people didn't lose their life. I don't think it was. We know the reason that this happened. We know who their target was. And this happens all the time. I don't know when it's going to stop. I agree, Jay Sean.
It's clear from that video what they were set out to do and what they had planned to do. The investigation would later reveal that the 3 armed shooters were Sean Gaithright, Rashard Murphy, and Davion Murphy. Detectives used footage from the scene, license plate readers, and phone logs to identify 2 vehicles and link them back to the suspects.
Okay, I see you, C. Clark.
Furthermore, it was found that the shooters are members of or affiliated with rival gangs of Jones that go by ATK and 1200. Jones was part of the 6 Block gang. Detectives believe that the ATK and the 1200 worked together to target Jones as part of an ongoing feud in Jacksonville.
Was it worth it?
I want to send a clear message to anyone that the city of Tampa is not where you want to come to settle a dispute. You will be charged, you will be arrested, and you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent possible. Furthermore, if you're a gang member, there's no alleged immunity through a cone of silence, as our detectives will find evidence needed to make an arrest and hold everyone accountable, just as we did in this case.
Florida's a rough state, man.
Then
They're
you
getting
will be
better,
prosecuted by our tenacious state attorney, Susie Lopez.
Shout out to
Today
Gavin
would
Newsom.
not be possible without the assistance of our law enforcement partners in Jacksonville, who collaborated with us and shared intelligence that helped us in this case. Their agency also assisted with many search warrants, locating and arresting these dangerous individuals. At this time, I would like to invite Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters, followed by State Attorney Susie Lopez.
Thanks, Chief. So good afternoon, I'm T.K. Waters, Sheriff of Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida. Thank you, Chief Burkhall, for inviting me to stand with you as we announce these murder arrests. Today, 3 dangerous criminals are off our Florida streets and in police custody where they belong. These individuals have chosen lives of urban terrorism, and with their arrests, we show Tampa, Jacksonville, and the rest of Florida, the rest of this state, that we hold violent criminals accountable. At the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, we will always work together with our law enforcement partners to ensure that our communities are free of those who choose violence over peace. I want to applaud the investigators from Tampa PD and JSO for their committed collaborative work to bring violent criminals to justice. What I saw in this partnership evidenced the very best of information and resource pooling to ensure public safety. In closing, I want to directly speak to those who choose violence and those who embrace a culture that glorifies violence.
Yeah, here we go. Talk about
Florida,
it.
Tampa, JSO, Jacksonville, Miami, wherever you are, will not tolerate foolishness, will not tolerate shootings and needless violence. We will not make excuses for poor decisions. We'll hold you accountable for your criminal actions.
Talk to them.
Florida is a state of law and order. Law enforcement agencies in this state will always work together to protect the good and decent people who chose to live within the law. And we will always work together to ferret out those who choose the lives of violent crime. Thank you.
Very well said. We got to give that man a round of applause. And that's all. That's the only message that we're here to send. I make it a point on this platform and every platform that I'm a part of to send this message that we're not going to glorify this type of behavior. We've got a lot of rappers in the community. We've got a lot of artists in the community. I make it a point to make it clear that this is not a way that we should be living. This is something we shouldn't be talking about. We shouldn't be glorifying. Now, if you want to tell your story in a old school or even modern hip hop way, just about what you come through, what you've gone through as a person, some of the things you overcome, I can definitely respect that. But sitting here glorifying it and people who aren't even living that life getting caught up in stuff like this, it doesn't have to happen, and it shouldn't be glorified, as he said. Now, if y'all want to see a real movie, check this out. This is the full footage of the police department arresting the alleged people who did the shooting, or who were involved in the shooting, I should say. Check this out. This is crazy. This looks like a movie.
You're good. Come on out. Hands up. Put your hands up. Target? Can't tell. Target? Yeah, it looks like. Yeah. Yep. Put your hands up. Put your hands in the air. Hands up. Hands in the air. Hands in Hey, keep your hands up and walk out towards me. Hey, over here. Come this way. Over here. You're going to get hit with the less lethal. Get your hands up and walk towards me. Hands up and walk towards me.
Come on, man.
Hands up and walk towards me. Keep coming.
Me either, K. Cooper.
Coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Stop. Stop. Turn around. Keep your hands up. Turn around. Hands up. Keep your hands up. Hands up. Don't reach for your waist. Do not reach for your waist. Look at me. Back up for me. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. All right, go to your knees. Put your hands behind your back. Stay there. Stay there. Don't move.
Yep.
Isaiah? Isaiah? Stand up. Isaiah Chance, right?
Both Suspect Kelsey and Andrews there, or no?
So that's 2 out of 3.
Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. Keep walking. Now turn around.
And there's 3 out of 3.
Is there anybody else inside?
Now look at how they filmed this too. Appreciate your time. There it is, man. They got him. Now, obviously, we don't have the full facts of the case. I'm not going to applaud for this because I still believe in being innocent until you're proven guilty. But if they did have any part in this, I hope they are brought to justice and are prosecuted to the full extent of the law. I don't know what that means. None of it is going to bring Fulio back, but I hope we can look at this and see from both sides, from both perspectives, that it's just not even worth it. There's a better way. There's another way. As I mentioned in the chat, I've never had any of these issues because I don't roll with that life. And it's very simple and easy to avoid. There's always a way out. There's always another and a better way. And we have to start. This is the message that we have to start pushing and start standing on as a people. Even if the beat's good, even if the lyrics are catchy, we got to do our part. Let me see what y'all are saying in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody who's in here. Thank y'all for checking out that video. It's sad that that's the situation, but man. Amy said, "ClassE, I got your 6. Don't be scared." Amy's a shooter. Y'all better not roll up on Amy. Noob says, K. Cooper, I think the opposite. You have to maintain composure and control and not let the adrenaline take you to that place, or just stay out of these type of situations in general. It's not that complicated. Skinny Dark ESP, new timer in the building, said, let's not act like Fulio wasn't killing people either. Hit about 3 people and hit Ace 8 times. That's where it started. I'm just saying, absolutely. I'm not saying it's a shame that this is what had to happen. And again, I don't know those things to be true. I know they talk about it, but it's still a shame. And shout out to Jay Sean Richardson up in here. He says, nice job, keep growing, peace. Appreciate you being here, man. Lauren said, ClassE in the gym, not in the streets. That's right. Gotta stay ready. Oh, we got 182 likes. Thank y'all for liking the video, man. I appreciate it. Floyd, the real deal. Neil is in here. Said these youngins dumb as a box of rocks. I think hands up is one of the most simple commands. The hands wasn't higher than this. No, he was like walking like this. Come on, man. Come on. It's not that hard. We've got a couple more. Let me see. I think I'm going to ask y'all which topic y'all want to go into, because we've got 3 more topics we can get into. And if you want to watch the full, this full press conference, I'll link it in the video or in the description as well. Let me double check and see if anybody wanted to call in too. I wish, did Jay Sean leave for real? I would love for him to come up, because it seems like he had a lot to say in the chat. And thank you again to everybody who sent in the super chats. I appreciate it. Y'all did not have to do that, but it means a lot. And I know a couple of you sent in something for Grace's birthday too, so I'll make sure I get that over to her. Happy birthday again, Grace. Let's see. Amy said, when they bring SWAT out, they mean business. Yeah, you saw what, I mean, you saw what they did. They were moving. They had this thing planned out. It looked like a movie. This is crazy.
This is at the hotel.
I appreciate it, Casper. Thank you.
You can see the shooters are getting in position for their planned out murder.
Look at this.
And they are shooting at Charles now. And you can see that he's the passenger in that car that's moving and trying to flee.
And why would they drive that direction? I know the driver is probably panicked, but man, turn and go the other way. He probably could have made it. They drove right past him.
He's the right front passenger in that vehicle.
Stupid, man. Dang. It's a shame. It's a shame. Lady Bliss says, why do rappers kill each other? Why don't they support each other? There's a big enough audience for all. We just got to change the message. And I think it's just going to take one person after one person after one person showing the way. You're always going to have your, I don't want to say the word. You're always going to have your people out there that are going to be reckless, but yeah, it starts here. That's why we're going to keep having the conversation. Shout out to Casper, said, found this channel through a YSL trial. Thank you for providing the insight. Yeah, thank you for being here, Casper. I appreciate it. Miss Chick Samantha said, Ace's brother, the war kept going. Sad. Yeah. Crazy. C. Clark said they all make fun of the dead, which is weird. They call it demon time for a reason. Time is up in here, says ClassE Beats. Consistency is the truth, the way of elevation. Stay healthy and balanced in life, ClassE Beats. Hey, I'm gonna try. I needed to hear that today. Thank you, Time. Balance is not one of my greatest qualities. It's probably my least greatest, but one day we'll get there. I appreciate that. Jay Sean says, I didn't say anything. I wasn't even subscribed. Oh no, we're talking about Jay Sean. This one. I appreciate you being here, Jay Sean. Thanks for subscribing. Oh, Amy's showing support there. Shout out to Amy, man. Always showing love. Cypress Wisteria says she had been watching. Certain things she said she wouldn't have known unless she had been watching. You must be talking about Judge Whitaker. Oh yeah, she definitely was. And how does she know about Kayla's live stream? I mean, come on. K Cooper says it seems men don't believe in work-life balance. What is that? Is that something they teach over at the DIE? I don't know what that is. Floyd said he's calling in. Let me see what Mr. Floyd. Shout out this game. We out here trying to get to the bag, K Cooper. You know what's up. Shout out to Anton, man. We got my guy Floyd, the real deal Neil, in the building. Talking about work-life balance. Floyd, you know what that is? I don't know.
Man, truthfully, just can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Man, if we were being realistic, you have to become great at counterbalancing, because having a balanced life is a very difficult thing. You can't be a great employee or a great CEO and a great father at the same time, equally all the way throughout. You have to learn how to focus on this and then bounce back to this to keep everything balanced. So counterbalancing, I feel like, is more so important.
Yeah, and
Whenever
I say this all the time too, and then I'll let you have the floor. When one thing I've learned about being a father, and the thing that can be most impactful, is wherever you are, whatever you're doing, especially when it comes to your kids or your family or work, just when you're there, just be there. So when you're with the kids, just be with your kids. When you're working, be working. And again, I am not perfect about that, to say the least, but that's something I know and understand, that not only is it appreciated by them, but I think it's something that you will value for yourself. And I think it makes your work and just your home and family life a lot better too. But anyway, you have the floor. I'm not going to start preaching.
Yeah. So, man, look, I'm about to get on the same thing, because I feel like this is probably one of the most important things I done called in about. I remember I read a book. And y'all got to start reading the books, because there's some good information in there. But I read a book. It was called 10 Things Great Dads Do. And in there, he made a statement, and he said that we are the first generation to raise an entire generation without the network of grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, all of that. With that being said, we have to understand the importance of the masculine model inside of these kids' lives. As a father, you have the responsibility to teach your daughters what a man look like, how he responds, how he acts, how he's supposed to treat her. You're supposed to teach your sons what he looks like, how he works hard, all these different things. So whenever we have the absence of that, these kids are going to go looking for that somewhere. And it shows up in the way that we project as artists. Folks, it's funny because, Mr. 930 and this, that, and the other, but I look at it because life and death is really in the power of the tongue. And what you put out there, I know people say energy, this, that, and the other, but principles of the Bible are principles everywhere.
Yep.
Whatever you speak, it has a tendency to show up. That's just the way that it works. So for me, whenever I look at the music that we listening to nowadays, these is babies that was made to Nuck If You Buck and Lil Jon and the East Side Boys and all that. This ain't that Al Green, Marvin Gaye. They wasn't made in love.
Yeah.
They wasn't made in love. So now they come out, they projecting these type of things, and it's putting out negativity. So now they getting that back into their lives. We have to be very careful about what it is that we do whenever we're creating, because music is the only spirit that does not need your permission to enter in. It's like you be in the store just doing whatever, and next thing you know, you singing a song that you ain't heard in 10 years ago, because it was playing inside of the store. We have to, unfortunately, in this situation here, we got a young man who was out here putting out all types of negativity, and then they come knocking at your door, and we wonder, oh, why this happened, why that happened. No, man, you asked for that. So we got to be very, very careful, man, about what it is whenever we create, because you don't understand the power that is in the gift of being able to create music, man. And unfortunately, a lot of people misuse that and create negative outcomes for a lot of different people.
Yeah, and it's oh, hold on, I've got that.
Oh, hold on,
let me see. There we go. Let me turn echo cancellation back off. Yeah, and it's sad it's being promoted and pushed by so many platforms, by so many people. You know how we are here. We have a clear message. We talk about content mattering. We talk about what's the message that we should be sending. We talk about our kids and our kids going back and listening to the type of message that we were pushing and promoting. And I think we have a responsibility to keep moving this message and this thought process forward, because it's the only way that things are going to improve. And then we go back to shaming this type of behavior, the type of content that's being put out, the type of things that are happening on stage and being pushed to children and in schools. And that's the way things are going to change. Until we do that, man, it's going to be a tough battle.
Yeah, it's definitely an uphill battle, but the truth of the matter is, one can chase 1,000, two can put 10,000 to flight. You don't need a whole army in order to combat it. Like they said earlier, you just need consistency. And if people are willing to show up and do the right thing, speak to them, and just be real. Look, I tell people all the time, I don't live a perfect life at all. Like, I got some things that I really got to work on. And me and my daddy, upstairs, we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
And while I'm addressing those things, I'm not coming out here portraying to be one way to some people. And no, I'm messed up. Don't follow me because I'm gonna lead you astray. But if you follow him, he'll always direct your path and make sure that it's right. So being just in a place where you tell people, hey, this is how I felt. My flesh wanted to respond this way, but I know that that wasn't the right way to do it. That little nugget there could be enough to tell people, hey, maybe I need to think about my actions before I just act off emotion. Because what happens is you get into this place, somebody jack your amygdala, blood drains from your frontal cortex, you lose all cognitive thought, rational thinking goes out the window, and now you find yourself in a place in 10 seconds that it take you 10 years to a lifetime to get out of. Y'all gotta slow down.
Absolutely, man. Well said, Floyd. I appreciate it. I say amen to that, man. Amen to
I
that.
appreciate the time, man. Hey, if y'all ain't like the video, shoot a cash app, send $1. $1 ain't gonna hurt you, man. Do the things because this platform is making a difference.
I appreciate you always, Floyd, stopping by and showing love, man. Thank you. And y'all go check him out. Pretty Boy Floyd, aka Floyd the Real Deal Neil. Y'all can find him right here on this platform. You can also find him wherever music is heard, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, we're going out there.
All right, peace.
All right, now. Yeah.
All right, let me see what y'all are saying in the chat. I have one more thing I wanted to get into, but I don't think we've got time. Actually, I have 3 more things I wanted to get to, but we just ran out of time today because we got another live stream to do. The Haven is in the building. Says, question: how does a man supposed to teach a boy how to survive in an environment that is full of violence if they're stuck in that environment? Well, the one thing that you can do is lead by example. I mean, what do you mean stuck in that environment? I guess we're looking at maybe through other choices that they made. I understand that there's real life out there. I've lived it. I've been involved in it. I've seen my parents and people I'm close to struggle with those type of things. But I think it's a mindset thing. When you say you're stuck in an environment, I just refuse to believe that. I mean, I could have just as easily been a statistic as anybody else. I'm not going to tell my whole story here on this channel, but through some choices that were made for me, some choices that I made myself, I am where I am today. So I think a lot of it is leading by example and helping your kids to understand why you're doing the things that you're doing and what you're moving forward and what you're moving towards. Because even if you say somebody who's stuck in that situation is able to show and give their children that vision, I think it still can translate into another generation. So I think it's all about the principles you live your life on. I base all my life principles on the Bible, on what God says, and the purpose that God's given me. So that makes things pretty simple and straightforward for me. But if you have that vision and you can convey and help your kids understand that, no matter what situation you're stuck in, you can always put the next generation and help them see how they can move forward into a better situation. But that's just me. Great question, though. And I'm still figuring it out. I mean, listen, you're talking about somebody who, I went through some things. I didn't have a perfect life. I don't have a perfect life now. I love being able to influence and inspire and teach my kids. But you know, there's still a lot that I have to learn and go through. But when it comes to showing them the right path to take, I know that if I teach them certain principles, they're going to be able to get to wherever they want to in life, and they're not going to be quote unquote stuck. Yeah, I appreciate it, Haven. Amy says, what you speak is what you'll see. Shout out to Mike Ben. Oh man, Mike B in the building. I'm going to mess up your name. He said, make people happy for a living. Money will always come. Oh, I like that. Just, yeah, give value, man. Be of value to your community, a value to the people around you. That's a great message, man. Casper says, many fathers raise men in Compton, New York, Atlanta. Getting out is difficult, but it can be done. I believe that with all my heart. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing for people who are stuck is that they just don't want to sacrifice. You don't want to sacrifice certain things to get where you want to be. And getting out of certain situations is going to take a lot more sacrifice than others. I mean, I have to sacrifice time with family for a little while. You might have to sacrifice doing other things. You might have to sacrifice a certain type of car, a certain type of living environment. But it can be done. I'm proof of that. Mike B says, if you invest all your time on YouTube, that can be taken from you. Make something no one can take. Protect yourself from jealousy. Shout out to Felicia Cortez, says, watching and listening from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Shout out to Milwaukee. Go Bucks. One of my favorite players in the NBA, Giannis, is out there, so I love it. Mike B says, sacrifice television, leading by example, work, religion, discipline, and focus will guide the next generation. School is the first step. Yeah, like y'all said, it can be done. It can be done. What else? Floyd says, you teach them that plants can only pull from what's in their environment to grow. Sometimes you need a new pot. Nothing wrong with moving to survive. Live like nobody else, so later you can live like nobody else. Shout out to Dave Ramsey. California in the chat. Let's go. All right, y'all. We're going to get up out of here. We have court again is resuming in the morning. I have a feeling with it being a Friday, it's going to be a shorter day. We'll see what happens. So instead of starting the show at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow, we will start at 8:45 tomorrow morning, because y'all know Judge Whitaker, she is not playing around. And she'll be here right at 8:45. We'll be ready to go. Make sure y'all tune in for that. Also, if you're an artist or you're just someone who loves music, make sure you tune in tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the Song of the Night Live. We'll be giving away some cash, a brand new microphone. We're going to hear for some amazing independent artists, and we just have a good time. So would love to see y'all there, but I'll definitely see y'all back here tomorrow morning, 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day. All the artists, I will see y'all over on the BandLab Engineer channel here in about 10 minutes. We're going to get started with some music reviews. Y'all know what to do. Keep growing. Keep pushing. Keep it classy. We gone. Peace. Appreciate y'all, man. And happy birthday to Grace in the building.
Say, my brother, my sister, just believe in yourself. Believe in your skin, believe in your health, believe in yourself. Believe in your talk, believe in your walk, believe in yourself. Believe in your skin, believe in your health, believe in yourself. Believe in your talk, believe in your walk. Believe in yourself.
Since everything starts with self, let me hold this mirror up and take a look at myself. Before I judge you, I gotta check myself. And I come to find out that that's good for my health, right? Change your mind and watch the whole body follow. So you won't hear me talking about I'm hitting you with hollows. I can't do it, got plans for tomorrow. And I ain't trying to bring my seeds no type of sorrow. Wait, cause fake rappers do fake-ish. I mean, most the basic get replaced quick. I'll never sacrifice my soul. Truth is, so I might never get 1 million records sold. But that's cool, cause I'm good with the creator. He nurtured my thoughts, so I present you with verbal flavor. You never listen to what no haters say. We pray for them, but we gon' move it this way. We moving forward, y'all.
We can do anything. We can't be worried about what they say. My brother, my sister, just believe in yourself. Believe in your skin.